So before he takes off, we're in the Yahoo booth, and who better to have at the Yahoo booth than Doug Crockford, the master of JavaScript, a good friend of mine and a mentor, I would say. Doug, it's great to have you here. And so we were just talking about this morning, if you don't mind. So what did you think of this morning?
I love the talk from Amazon. I thought that was really good. I thought the talk from Google was also very strong.
James Hamilton from Amazon did a great talk. And then I was really glad to hear at the end the Google guy talking about work we're doing to make Google AdSense less of a negative impact on page performance. But I guess that's not out, like we're bucketing in for 0.5% of users or something. That'll be promising. But yeah, and then Tim O'Reilly's talk. Oh my gosh, it was a great morning.
We laughed, we cried. It was really amazing. I wanted to see that talk for a while, and yeah, it was incredible.
Okay, so we're going to do the booth crawl. I'll talk to you later. Tom Hughes Croucher.
Hey, Steve.
Good to see you. So we're basically just going around. We're talking, and I've got the Yahoo popcorn, and
it's purple.
I don't know if you can see this. It's purple and white. Can you see that? And we're way over time. We've got to do 40 people in 30 minutes. So, but just trying to go around, talk to all the exhibitors. How's the conference going so far? Well, I guess
the conference is great.
Yeah.
So I go to a lot of conferences, and the audience here is so smart. It's scary for a speaker. They're really intimidating because the people here really know about performance, and we're really pushing the boundaries. You know, people asking the best questions, and it's like I feel like we're making progress. You know, several years down the line, and you know, people get it, and they're coming here to learn how to make extreme performance.
But then we also see some of these studies from Google, and someone else this morning put up some stats. Oh, I forget who it was, maybe Keynote, about how, like, you look at a large population of websites, how a lot of people still don't get it.
That's true.
So I think you're right. There are industry leaders who are on the bus. They're drinking the Kool-Aid, but we still got a lot of room to grow.
The Zoom guys, the Zoom report of like the Alexa top 1,000, and you know, there's a lot of people that just don't get it yet. So they need to come here.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Tom, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
How are you? Good to see you.
Great, Jesse. How you doing?
Well, we're doing really well. So Theo Schlossnagel, who's author of the Scalable Websites book, and not an O'Reilly book, but that's okay. And our most popular speaker yesterday, we actually had to reconfigure the conference in order to accommodate his workshop on scalable infrastructure, or scalable internet architectures. So tell us about Circonus.
Circonus. Circonus is an exciting offering that we developed around an open source tool that we wrote about 2.5 years ago called Reconnoiter. The idea was to revolutionize the way metrics are collected, trended, and faulted on. We've been frustrated with open source tools that don't integrate all that stuff together. So we wanted to bring it all together, bring marketing metrics and systems metrics and network metrics and web metrics all together in one place, so when your business breaks, that you know about it. So that's what it does. It's the holy grail.
So this is metrics beyond just like time to get a request off and number of requests. Are you also looking at like traffic patterns and usage patterns?
Absolutely.
That's something I was just talking to someone about last night that I had never really heard people doing, but like detecting outages based on usage patterns. Absolutely. And it totally makes sense.
I don't care if my web pages take 15 seconds to load or don't load at all. If I get the number of purchases I was supposed to, then my business is running, right? So that's the business perspective. The systems perspective on the low level is like my disks can't fill up and the I/O latency has to be low. But not having those metrics in the same interface, it kind of gives stakeholders a problem, right? You have stakeholders in your company that care about different things, right? And that's not good for business, right? So you want your ops people caring about what your CMO cares about, and all of that stuff needs to be together. It's one interface that to rule them all.
Yeah, pull it together. And it really resonates with Tim's point this morning about we're generating all this data, and we worry about, especially I worry about the human consumption of that, but we really got to be thinking forward about how we're going to have all these machines consuming all that data, and how we have to do that in real time and in an intelligent way.
That's why we launched the service, because storing it now can be our problem and not yours.
Thanks. So I know that the exhibit hall has only been open for a couple hours, but any feedback so far?
It's been a It's been a pretty good showing. Being right here by the door, I think we were creating a little bit of a bottleneck earlier, but
because so many people want to talk to Facebook.
Yeah, either about the technology or about various stories or issues or what have you.
Well, I think especially with this crowd, I know I've heard several people compliment the Facebook blog, because certainly you guys, I mean, you've got several speakers here. Bobby Johnson speaking tomorrow morning, Chang Hao and Jason Sobel talking tomorrow afternoon about, so you guys are doing a lot of performance work, and you're blogging about it, sharing that with the community, so that's a
If you go to facebook.com/engineering, we keep a pretty steady stream of the open source projects that we're working on stuff like this at Velocity with like Jason Sobel and Tom Cook's giving a talk today. So we're really, really excited about like sharing all of our experiences with everybody else. And that's why these events are great, right? We can kind of share our unique experience in dealing with just a massive amount of traffic and data, and being able to kind of, share that with the community, and I think it's it's really interesting, and obviously like the open source stuff as well is something that we're really committed to and really kind of want to continue contributing to in terms of sharing what we've learned with everybody else.
I think that's something that started this Velocity conference happening, was that desire to get people from different companies to share. We appreciate you guys doing that, and you guys supporting Velocity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks, Steve.
All right, do you have things that you can share out with the Velocity community? Like I know Max Furtman did a talk on mobile performance yesterday, and one of his URLs that I tweeted out was some JavaScript performance best practices on your guys' website. Any other things like that to give out to the community? Because building for mobile and doing that in a performant way is huge.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's the hugest, the largest, it's really key, is creating this really sustainable ecosystem that continues to grow, and that developers have the opportunity to really develop on our platform that makes the most sense for them. If you think about it too, I have a little plug for Nokia here too, 1.2 billion devices out there. And so from a publishing standpoint, that's just huge. And the opportunity to get the applications out through like publish.ovi.com and really work with them to make it a pleasant experience, not only for the developers, but ultimately the consumers that are taking in the content.
So last plug, if there's a URL you want to tell a developer to go check out, what would it be?
Probably first one will be when we're talking about jobs, jobs.nokia.com is the good one.
All right.
And then the other one, the publish.ovi.com that I just spoke about too. So definitely check those out. And then ovi.com too, because that's where the Ovi's means door and finish. And so that's actually the umbrella for our entire services offering. So the maps, music, media, messaging, games, and store, all of that falls under there. So check it out. We're really excited about it.
Thank you for being at Velocity.
All right. Tell us about DTO.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you.
And why you're here, and what we should know.
Sure. So, our main company is DTO Solutions. We're a consulting company. We do automated infrastructure and process improvement for basically large-scale folks large-scale operations, folks who build and operate revenue-producing services. So, banks, e-commerce sites, a bunch of social gaming companies seem to be our latest customers. And the other thing that we're talking about today is the Control Tier automation project, which is a automation framework. It's all open source. It's Apache licensed, and we do. It's basically for coordinating management actions across distributed infrastructure. We work a lot with tools like Chef. And to help kind of provide an orchestration layer on top of that, a lot of sort of coordinating processes that span from the developers through to the operations folks.
Awesome.
And
All right. Hey, Ed. It's good to see you again.
Thanks, Dave. It's great
We've
to be
been
here.
talking for over a year. You know Jesse.
Yeah.
You were here last year.
Yeah.
And Aptimize was one of the first, I think the first kind of web acceleration products that I ever heard of.
You know what we called it was actually Steve in a box. So we'll just say it that way.
Thankfully, earlier this week they let me out of the box so I could do the conference. But
I have to say, before anything else, I love the kind of tactical shirts you guys are sporting. I'm just going to say that they're very cool.
So, actually, I think we've got a T-shirt for you, Jesse. Hey, Baker, can you get Jesse a T-shirt?
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay.
So you came a long way, all the way from New Zealand.
So
tell us what you think of Velocity. What are people saying about Aptimize?
Sure. So we're really proud to be supporting Velocity. It's the #1 conference for anyone building websites. If you've got a website, it's got to be fast, and the best place to come is right here in sunny California, and so congratulations to O'Reilly for having the vision for doing this, and to you two guys for hosting the conference as well. So this is our second year. We're really happy to be here again, and we're getting a lot of good buzz. So, and it's really exciting to see the big companies that are now jumping on board, you know, with our product and with the other people's products as well, and really embracing the notion that faster is better. Asking your customers to wait is like asking them to leave, and no one wants to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's the reaction from the audience so far?
They're really excited, and they're really excited about our company, about all the other great products they're seeing here, and also the messages that we're hearing inside the conference as well.
What's kind of the number one thing you want attendees and other people to know?
Yeah, so I think the key thing is that you don't have to wait. There is a solution.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for being here, and
thanks, Steve.
Again.
Great seeing you. Hey, I'm Steve too. Nice to meet you.
Jesse Robbins.
Justin, nice to meet you. My name's Steven. This is Perry. We're with NorthScale. Really excited today. At this conference, we announced two things. One is the Membase NoSQL database, which is a high availability, high performance server solution. And we got great response here today. It's available at NorthScale.com, free to download. And we have an open source community called membase.org. So far, we found the conference pretty good. We like the people here, and we hope you check out NorthScale.com. Perry, what did you guys say?
Yeah, so simple, fast, and elastic. That's what NorthScale is all about. Simple, easy to get set up. 5 minutes, you're up and running. Fast, it's Memcached fast. It's completely compatible with Memcached. Everything's running out of DRAM. It's persistent to disk. And elastic, being able to just add more commodity hardware, run our application on it, and you have your cluster expanding and rebalancing both the data and the load as your site grows.
All right, we're here with Dynatrace. I know Andy for a long time. Alois, good to see you again. So, you know, you did a lightning demo yesterday. I said this in the intro. Dynatrace is new this year. Dynatrace, well, not Dynatrace the company. You guys have been around for a long time. But this year, Dynatrace Ajax Edition, free front-end performance analysis tool. It's taken the dev world by storm. I mentioned the huge unsolicited blog post that John Resig did that really highlighted the strength and how impressed he was with your tool. So tell us, how's velocity going, and what do you want people to know about Dynatrace?
Well, I think, first of all, thanks again for giving us the opportunity of the lightning demo. It was great that we actually could talk about the Ajax Edition. The key message that I want everybody to take away is get involved into the beta program. So today in the morning, a couple of hours ago, we uploaded the beta 2. There's a new blog post out on blog.dynatrace.com that explains what we want to achieve with the beta program. Download it, get involved, and give us feedback. Because we really extended the whole how we measure things. As you know, we have very deep insight into IE. And we basically brought the PureWave technology that we have on our server-side product, where we can trace every single click, transaction, all the way down to the method level, into the browser world, because well, we all know the application starts at the browser and goes all the way to the database. So with the Ajax Edition, which is free on the front end, and the APM solution that we have on the back end with the full end-to-end view, and again, get involved into the community, and it's we're rocking here.
Yeah. Cool. So I don't know how many people know you more for the front end side, the client side, the Ajax Edition, or the back end side, but that's the real story, is the marriage of those two and how people can see that end-to-end monitoring.
Coming later this year, so and around in September timeframe, there will be an integrated solution where you can really go from the click in the JavaScript on the front end, all the way down to the back end, to the database. So this will be one of the announcements later this year. And we had a lot of talk here about continuous integration in the web space, and we've been doing this also in the classical Java enterprise space. We've seen that there is much more, or that the community in the web space is much more eager to drive this forward than in an enterprise space. There will also be an announcement, so we'll have full continuous integration support on continuous performance optimization stuff as well, coming later this year. So these are the big steps ahead that we're working on right now.
I'm sure I'll be with you at a conference somewhere when you announce that. All right.
Hey, one thing to take away.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
a lot, Alois.
Thank you.
Andy. Great to have you here. Hey, I'm Steve.
I'm Greg.
Nice to meet you again.
Good to meet you. Thanks for
so
being here.
We're really excited to have Dell here. Thanks a lot for being an exhibitor. We're on the second day of the exhibit hall. How's it going?
Very good. We've had lots of good people coming by, a lot of interest. It's been good. We liked it.
So when we talked to your team about why Velocity, what I said was, this is the place where it's not the CIOs. This is not a CIO conference. This is where practitioners are, and so it's the people that are going to say, that's a piece of gear I want to use, or maybe that's not a piece of gear I want to use. And so I said, you got to be here because Dell has a changing story around the way you're approaching sort of big scale infrastructure. So tell us that story.
One of the things that we recently announced in March was a new kind of product line focused on data centers, where if you have that much control, it uses reduced power and allows you to run data centers hotter. And at the same time, though, we decided we were going to try and offer the beginning of a solutions story, where not just hardware anymore, but one of the things we're starting to focus on is a cloud solution for application developers, where it's based on a virtualization with Solaris underneath, using a partner with Joyent to manage it.
Awesome.
It's kind of a neat combination of the two. And Velocity was particularly interesting because of its ops crowd who's interested in running a data center, and the dev crowd who's interested in seeing what kind of solutions they could have to help them. And so one of the neat things about the solution is it's got a developer side portal focus so that they can provision and bring things online on their own, as well as a IT operations view of control and tracking. And so it's kind of a nice balance between the two.
Awesome.
So how has the crowd reacted to that story?
It's been good, I think. It's definitely to see the difference. It's like, okay, that's an interesting hardware plant. Oh, that's a good way. I like the ability to get the resources when I need them, as I need them. And so it's been kind of a good story in that regard.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
And see you next year.
Velocity, but let's talk about your company. What's Tylera do, and what are people interested in when they come by and talk to you?
Right, so we're a multi-core processing company, so we make a chip with 64 cores on a processor today, 100 cores next year. What we're showing is a box with 512 cores in it, so people want to see that it's real. This was built by Quanta, which builds boxes for Dell. They took 8 of our chips and put them in a box, so that's 512 cores in a box. It's running at 366 watts, running lamp stack, memcached. We're actually running 8 different things on this box right now. It's got 24 2.5-inch disks up here, so you can put 24 terabytes in this.
It's not very hot either.
No. People keep feeling the fan on the back. It's not that hot. And then on the back, we've got 16 10-gig ports and 16 1-gig ports.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. And
that is some intense density.
If you put them all in a rack, you can get 10,000 cores in a standard rack for less than 8K watts.
Wow. When did you guys launch?
We've been a company for 5 years.
Okay.
This is our second generation of silicon.
Yep.
This box has been around for 2 weeks. So this is the first prototype. Both of the first 2 prototype boxes work, so one's here, one's at another unnamed conference this week.
This one's much better conference.
There we go.
There's been
more customers here. That's right.
That's awesome.
People have asked to see one of the boards so they can hold it, and I said, well, if we had one that didn't work, we'd take it out. But they all work, so we're running them.
That is amazing.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for talking to us. Thanks for being at Velocity. We hope to see you next year, too. And so what are the things that people seem most interested in when they come by and talk to you?
They're interested in stuff that's been built for new environments, cloud and virtual, not just the old school physical environments. So people are really interested in the leading edge technologies, and that's why they're here to talk to people and find out about them, educate themselves.
So like, what are you doing in the cloud that is enticing them?
Well, a lot of people who do what we do are very quickly retrofitting their stuff for the cloud, but ours is built from the ground up for it, and also for virtual environments. And it's really designed for those new environments that people are building applications for.
That's really cool. And any other, so is this the first time you guys have been at Velocity?
Very first time.
What do you think so far?
It's been great. You know, there's not a lot of conferences that really focus on IT operations, which is what we built our tool for, is to enable developers and ops to collaborate together. So it's a kind of a unique focus, and that's why we're here.
Awesome. Excellent.
DevOps.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
You betcha.
All right.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks.